What's up guys, welcome back to your Dominic TV. Today's another amazing day to get after it. I'm gonna be better today than we were yesterday. And for today's video, we're gonna be looking at the major differences between the MLS and Liga MX. So as of right now, Liga MX is leading in popularity, but this can be based off of the fact that they initially started in the 1940s. Liga MX made their first debut in 1943, while for the MLS, they didn't make their very first one till 1996. But now as time goes on, people are wondering, will the MLS ever surpass Liga MX? Or, Liga MX will always stay on top. But in my opinion, at least, I feel like the best solution would be if they just merge together in the future, since everybody's already in North America, and even make an even more powerful league. So the first thing we're gonna be looking at is how they are both set up, the difference between the MLS and Liga MX, the way they set up everything. So for Liga MX, there's a total of 18 teams in the bracket. So the 18 teams do play in a long season that's split into two tournaments. The first one being Apertura, I don't know if I said it right, and the second one being Clausura. Each team will play each other at least one time before they go into a 12-team playoff. And the champions and then the runner-ups for each tournament, whoever makes those, they all earn a spot in the CONCACAF Champions League. As of right now, for the Liga MX, there's no relegation as of right now, but for the bottom three teams, they will have a fine to pay for pretty much making it to the bottom three. So I guess that's another incentive to push the teams that are at the very bottom to win matches, so the team doesn't have to pay that extra fine, because if they're paying fines, that's probably means players aren't going to be, getting the bonus they want. In contrast to Liga MX, the MLS has a total of 26 teams, and with all of these teams, they're split into two conferences, the first one being the Eastern Conference and the second one, the Western Conference. And then there's three teams that are based in Canada. But as time goes on, the MLS says they're trying to propose at least 4 more teams to be part of the MLS so they can have a total of 30 teams. And in the MLS, whichever conference a club is in, they're gonna play everybody at least 2 times. And then they're gonna have 10 matches against an opposing team on the other side, on the other conference. So if you're playing on the Western Conference, you're gonna play everybody twice in the Western Conference, and then you're gonna have 10 separate matches that is gonna be against other clubs that are in the Eastern Conference. And then finally, the top 7 teams in both conferences will go into the playoffs to try to win the MLS Cup. And of course, those who go deep into the playoffs to the top of the top finals, they all earn their spot in the CONCACAF Champions League also. And then this is where a lot of the MLS teams get to play the Liga MX teams. So maybe you're wondering, which team is actually better when it comes down to soccer itself? So in all the matches that Liga MX and the MLS have played, it's been a total of 92 matches. And in these 92 matches, Liga MX teams have beaten the MLS clubs 52 times, and the MLS teams have won over Liga MX teams 21 times, and then there have been 19 draws in between. So as time goes on, we would like to see the MLS numbers rise also, so that there can be an even more, show that they're more evenly matched. But as of right now, Liga MX is currently in the lead with the more wins, so we'll see what happens as time goes on. So the next thing we're gonna be looking at is pretty much which league is more popular, who gets more views, who's making more money from people watching the actual games. So based off of the 2019 stats, the MLS received approximately over 240,000 viewership on the actual television or online, whatever it was. And in terms of Liga MX, they received over 700,000 views. So if you can compare that in comparison, Liga MX completely blew the MLS numbers out of the water. But when it comes to viewership at the actual stadiums, they both average around 20,000, viewership. So in total amount of people that started coming to watch the games in person, the total average for both was approximately like 20,000. So they're very similar, but on terms of viewing it on stream or TV, Liga MX does have the W on this one. So the very last thing that everybody really wants to know about is pretty much how much do the players make in comparison of whichever league they want to play in. Because there's a lot of players who want to play in Mexico and some who live in Mexico want to come to the MLS. So what's the difference? Well, before you even look at the numbers, you have to look at the living standards. Anybody who's living in America, naturally, you're gonna have a higher living standard just because the country's more well developed versus Mexico. And if you live in Mexico, yes, there are certain areas that, you know, are pretty good. But in the overall aspect of the United States, right now is leading in technology, hospital. So, you know, the chance of you getting better care will probably be in America outside of soccer. But if we're looking at just soccer-wise alone, and then we start looking at the money, this is what I have for you. So the unofficial average wage for 2019 for Liga MX was approximately around $400,000. And that number is per year. And this is very similar to what the average is in the MLS. Because according to the global sports salaries, a lot of MLS, you know, salaries were put together and the average came out to be around $410,000. So the MLS ended up paying more in terms of total payout versus Liga MX. So maybe this is why there's some players who play in Mexico want to come to the States so that they can gain these financial benefits. And don't forget, even though this is the average, it doesn't mean every player gets this amount. There's a lot of players who are getting paid $65,000, $70,000 a year, and there's some who are getting millions. And depending on where you play, if you're a top player in Mexico and maybe they're just paying you $100,000, maybe coming to the MLS will get your pockets filled with $400,000. So because America already has more money and it might just work out for you. So these are the biggest differences that I could find that really separated both of these leagues together. So, you know, no matter if you're watching Liga MX or MLS, if you live in North America, we all want, you know, North American soccer to prosper so they can grow so we can watch even better soccer. So maybe in the next coming few years, Liga MX and the MLS may merge together and create the ultimate, you know, league. And then they're going to have Canadian teams that are going to be coming in. And then, you know, we might have our own league that is finally gaining popularity and momentum. And then later on, they can start competing in the Champions League that's happening in the EPL. So on that note, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Shadabin TV is out.